Feel like it's been a minute, man, since you was on here.
It has. I think a couple weeks.
Shoot, more than that.
Yeah.
Probably been about a month, ain't it?
Everything I picked up, man. Students back. Foot traffic around here. Kids into the different extracurricular activities, sports and stuff like that. So,
Yes.
That real life starting to hit a little bit.
But these kids back in full effect.
Oh, yeah, man. Oh, yeah.
Full effect.
Of course.
Hey, so coming up on the anniversary. We came up on the anniversary of what you call your sister, your sister's death.
Mm-hmm.
Who was she?
Man, if I can put into words of what type of
First of all, what was her name?
Ronshay Dugans. One of a kind, man. She was beyond her age. Like, if you ever had a chance to opportunity to meet her, she, in her 8 years of living, she touched so many lives, and I'm talking about, like, all over the world. However, she was one of the coolest little girls you ever met in your life. I mean, she had an old soul, and she was likable. She didn't meet any strangers, and if you ever had the opportunity to meet her, she's almost like my daughter. You know.
She reminds you of your daughter a lot?
Oh yeah, they got a lot of similar features, and also just the way they act. Very outgoing. Like I said, lovable type female. Lovable type kid. Just everywhere, man. That's one person that in the world that I would have loved to see grow up, because I knew her potential. Even in them 8 years, she accomplished a lot mentally, physically, and was able to. You can actually, like, I had girlfriends, and I had to prove my girlfriends through her.
Yeah.
And she was real critical about, the girls.
She sounded like she was probably smart.
Yeah, she's very intelligent, man. Very intelligent, but at the same time, down to earth. And she had an old soul, so she was very wise because she hung around a lot of older people. Folk. Yeah, so she'll absorb whatever it is that they'll talk about. And,
so before we even get too deep into it, we're talking about James's, basically his younger cousin, who he looked at as a sister, right?
Yeah, we raised her ever since she was 3 months.
And she died tragically in a school bus accident.
What
year was it?
2008. September the 5th, 2008.
Okay.
She was on her way back. Well, she was on her way to after-school program with the Boys and Girls Club. And
she was on the way to it or from it?
To it.
To it? Okay.
Had just got out of school. She went to Appalachia.
Okay.
The school bus picked her up, and they was on their way to the Boys and Girls Club.
All right.
And there was a cement truck driver who didn't sleep. Like they said, he had been driving and working probably maybe 12, 16 hours. And, well, maybe even more than that. Didn't get the rest. And he said he fell asleep. And he ran into the back of the school bus. And she was on the back of the school bus when it happened and killed her.
Was that something he admitted, like, on the scene, that he was just tired? Or was that something that came out in further investigation? Do you know?
I'm not sure. Well, that's what he said, when they was asking him what was.
Whether or not he said it the day of or whether he said it later.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
Yeah, that he had worked so many hours, and I don't know if they checked his time card to see how many hours he worked, but he worked over the amount of hours that you're supposed to work, because you're supposed to have a break in between hours of sleeping and stuff, and I don't think he got the sleep or, the necessary rest he needed, because, they said before they had received calls of a semi-truck driving recklessly.
A semi-truck?
Not a semi-truck, but a
cement
truck.
So it had been called in?
Yeah, it had been called in before. So there was a bolo out for it. However, he was saying that in those times that he was swerving and stuff, he was falling asleep. So they were at the intersection of Capitol Circle and Orange Avenue at the turning on to Orange Avenue.
Dang, that's a long ride for a school bus.
Yeah.
But it's after school for the Boys and Girls Club.
Right, and the Boys and Girls Club was on Laurel Lee Avenue.
Right.
So they're at the turning lane getting ready to turn onto Orange Avenue, and they're stopped, man. He runs straight right to the back of it. He injured a couple a couple kids on there, but she was the only one that ended up dying.
Was she sitting closer to the back of the bus? Is that what it was?
Yeah. What I was told was she was at the front of the bus first. I think one of the kids had got in trouble, so they ended up moving one of the kids to the front. They switched seats.
Wow.
So, and then not only that, one of the kids at her funeral was like, man, you know, she pushed me out of the way. Like, while when the wreck
was happening.
Yeah. She said she pushed her out of the way.
So we talking about a little angel probably.
Yeah. Listen, and she's the type of person that she always cared about others. You know what I'm saying? She had a big heart.
Damn, man.
She's the type of person that'll go and, you know, hug you first and, you know, make sure you're all right before, you know what I mean? So she just always give you that good feeling. And me and her had a special relationship as far as brother and sister, you know. I mean, I ain't just saying it because I'm saying it, but she used to always call me her favorite brother because just how our relationship was.
Because she was living with y'all.
Yeah.
So, in so many words, you was a role model to her. Yeah. She looked up to you.
Yeah,
we was her
cool.
older brother.
Yeah, I'm the cool guy. You know what I'm saying? So, I may let her get away with some things that, you know.
What she used to call you? She had a nickname for you, or she just called you Uncle James?
No, she just called me James.
James? Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he should tell you, yeah, man, you my favorite brother. But she was just that type of person. And me and her just had that special little relationship. I'm on the scene. And then at the time, you know, I was in the street. So, you know, if I come in and just say I've smoked a black or something like that, she'll come grab my hand and spank it, you know, stop smoking,
stop
you know.
Doing that.
Yeah. Or if my pants sagging, you better pull your pants up, boy.
That's an old soul.
Yeah, you better pull your pants up. And then, but at the same time, you know, that was needed. I guess what I did? Yeah. I did exactly that because I didn't want to be a bad influence on her, you know what I'm saying? So if I'm around her, even before I got in there, I knew what she, you know what I mean, what it is that she wanted me to do. And I had my pants already pulled up before I get in there because I ain't want to disappoint her. But
so did you feel more like a older brother, or did you feel more like a fatherly figure to her?
I felt more like a father figure, you know, because, I was her brother, but at the same time, it was just a different relationship. Like, you know, I mean, that's my baby. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's my girl. Even when the same relationship I have with my kids is the same relationship I had with her. So, you know, it hit different, you know, especially when it came to her. Like me, anything she asked me to do, I'm a puppet. Yeah. I'm around her. You want to go to the store? Yeah, I want to go to the store. I don't care how tired I am. You want to go to the store? We on our way to the store. Yeah. You want this, whatever you want, let's go get it.
Was that your first experience with death being so close like that?
Yeah, it you know, I haven't shared this story. I've shared it on Facebook before, but I haven't shared this story with too many people vocally. At the time of the accident, I worked in the emergency room. I was a patient account specialist.
What'd you do as a patient account specialist? What do they do?
We verify the people coming in and, you know, make sure their information is correct.
Are those the ones that push the computer around?
Yeah.
Okay, on the cart? Yeah.
Right, and at that time, I was assigned the trauma unit. Yeah. So usually when I got to work, I got to work about 3 o'clock. And that's around the same time it happened. And when I got there, I was told that there was a bus accident. And
a school bus accident or a bus accident?
A school bus accident.
Yeah, so you knew it was kids involved.
Yeah, because when you get there, there's a list of you know names and stuff on there, and there's little check boxes or little pins. Right. And you got to check off all those pins to make sure you verified everybody's thing. So mine was full. Right. And usually the trauma unit and unit 1 in the hospital is usually the serious patients.
That's the one with like the 2 rooms connected right there, because you got one side and another side.
So if you ever went through the ambulance side to get to that first room to get to, that's the trauma room, which would have been to the left. Right. No, the right when you walk in. So I was assigned the trauma unit at that time, and I've seen a lot of trauma patients. You know, I've seen all kind of things going through.
Right. You work in the hospital. You will see all kind of stuff come through the trauma rooms.
Right. And I mean, I've seen pretty much everything.
Right.
So at that time, I'm preparing like, okay, I got a big load coming in. Let me go ahead and start, because the earlier you get it done, most people who's in Unit 1 going to be there for a while. So once you go ahead and get them done, you ain't gonna really have to worry about them, too much unless they get admitted to the hospital.
And the size of Trauma Bay 1 is much larger than the other ones, right? Because you might need a larger team of medical physicians to come in there and do their job.
Right. So you have, I think they got like 21 rooms maybe.
Yeah.
17, 21 rooms in
something like that.
But then you have the 2 trauma rooms. So, excuse me. Going into that, well, as I was putting in patients, so if a person comes in as a trauma, they have no name.
Right.
They come in as trauma bus, and that was what came in, because so at that point I know I need to verify name, address, and verify who this person is.
Right.
And get all the
biographical information that you need to get for that patient.
Yeah, because then usually you're not able to obtain any of the names or anything of that patient yet, because everything's moving fast. You're trying to get them there to save their lives.
Right.
So I went that day. I when the patient came in, totally unrecognizable. It was probably the worst patient I've probably seen come through the trauma the trauma room ever in my years of working there. And so I'm asking, well, what's the name? Going through the list, like, and it's like, we ain't got no name yet. Cool, I know it's a kid. And so everybody's moving fast, and so I went and I happened to view the child on the bed, and I was like, well, that face looked familiar. I didn't, because you don't process, when you're dealing with trauma, so you don't process that being
you working.
Yeah, I'm working.
You working.
So I'm not even trying to recognize, because I ain't thinking that there's nobody.
Right, because you're not trying to connect with the person that's on the gurney at that moment.
Yeah, at this point, I'm working, so I see the face, and I look at the eyes, and I promise you, I was like, something about them eyes look familiar.
Yeah.
And I said it, but she was so bad that I'm looking at everything else as well. So I had to sit down I had to sit down and wait for them to get everything done, then verify name and all that other stuff. So at that time, I get a call from my mom. My boss calls like, "Hey, got a phone call for your mama coming." So I called. I pick up the phone. She was like, "Yeah, they rushed Ronshay into well, she was a part of the bus that got in the wreck, but they rushed her to the hospital." And I told her, I was like, "Yeah, I'm looking at my list. I don't see her up here. She might be at the other hospital." I said, "There's only one person that they rushed in here that's in a bad predicament, and that ain't her." You know what I'm saying? Just based off of what I'm saying.
Based on what you saw.
Yeah.
It couldn't have been
It couldn't have been her, bro. And so my dad, what kind of made things crazy when I see my dad come up to the hospital. And I'm like, "Pops, why you here? My mama, why you here?" My mom at the time was a social worker, so she had access to go to where I'm at in the trauma room.
Right.
So she was like asking name. No, I think she sees what my sister had on, and she looks at her fingernails, and it's like, ask them what her name is. And so I asked for her name and what she had on, and it was like this girl had on, the nurse at the time, she had on something opposite. So I told my mom, like, that ain't her, because it don't match what you say. And then my mom like, asked them again, and a name finally came with the patient, and I looked, and then when they said the name, I looked at the trauma bed, and it came together like a picture, bro. It came, yeah. So it came, everything as a puzzle picture, everything came together. And I looked, and I don't know if at that time I kind of figured out how it felt to get hit by a semi truck, and so much you had to process because I'm like, you know, everything got quiet, and the entire emergency room got quiet because when they said her name, it was they knew who she was associated to.
And how did they know that?
Because our name is like I had a cousin and my mom didn't work there, so they know that last name is associated with us. We have a pretty big family,
right? And
the entire room stopped and looked at us, and for a moment, the entire trauma room got silent, and then it's like, no, we got to save her, and that's what they did because the doctor that was a part of the doctor that was working on her having to be real good friends with us. So it was like everybody's going crazy. So I'm seeing him trying to work and he crying at the same time. Me, I hit the wall, bro, and they catch me, and I'm like, man, you know what I mean? At this point, I can't even put in the words of the feeling that came amongst me, because at this point stuff got real, and I'm like, you can't, not this one, like, you know, God, you know you do a lot, but not this one. You can't. She didn't deserve it. That's how I felt. Right. You know, if you're gonna kill somebody else, you kill. I would rather take her place at the time. That's just how I felt, because she was such a precious and innocent young girl. Never got in trouble. Never, you know, she just never got in. She was just. I don't know if you know, most kids, you know, you have your issues. Mm-hmm. This was a perfect child. Right. So when it happened, man, it was crazy, bro. And so they rushed her to the surgery room. And some lady, I don't even know who this lady is. She had to be an angel or something. Grabbed me and started praying with me. I don't even know who she is, how she came up, but this lady just grabbed me and started praying. And at that time, no, I take it back, bro. Before I recognized who she was, and before I got that call on the phone with my mom, I started praying for this child's family, but didn't know I was praying for my own family.
That's real, man.
Like, honestly, like when I saw what was going on and them working on her before I got the call from my mom to say that this is happening, I started praying because
you knew she belonged to somebody.
Somebody's child.
Right.
And so at that point, I'm at my, it's called a cow. I'm at my computer on wheels. Yeah. And I bowed my head, and the words I said was, God, you know, you take over. And I pray that you heal this family from the hurt that, you know, that may happen. Right. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't know that the prayers I was praying for was for myself, or the prayers I was praying for my own family. Right. And so when that happened, we, you know, my family came in. My family is very large, so they had to open up another room just for my family. Like, you know,
was it a family room or was it just another patient room or something?
At that time, I don't even know where I was. Yeah, I just know it was in this open place that I've never been. I've worked at a hospital, but I just knew my family came in there. Every person who came in there, man, it was the hardest thing in the world to see not only my family break down. I'm talking about the strong peoples, bro. I'm talking about the strong people in our family are hurt, bro. And it's like there's nothing we can do to save it. So I'm praying that we get some good news when this doctor come out the surgery room. So some time passed and we waiting. You know, we trying to console each other. We trying to keep each other because we're a strong family.
Was there a moment of prayer for the whole family at one point?
There's one of our pastors came in and he started praying for everybody. And then the doctor came out, and when the doctor came out crying,
the doctor was crying.
The doctor came out crying.
Remember the doctor's name?
I don't even know who it was. It was at that time. But
for a doctor to cry, man, you know it's deep. Yeah. Because doctors don't cry. At least that's the image that we have of doctors.
But he knows that, first off, he knows our family. Right. Second of all, I got to tell all these people
that I know,
who was depending on me to save this child's life,
that I couldn't do it.
And I couldn't do it. They're like, man, we tried all that we could. You know, I've done all that I can. I tried everything.
Yeah.
But he's like, you know, I put her on morphine so she don't feel a thing. But we've done everything, and I had to decide to stop. And when they said that, man, it was the worst thing in the world, bro. That is the worst.
It's the stuff that you see on TV that you never think will ever happen to you.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
Nothing you can do about it.
But take it, accept it. Like, this is the hardest thing. You can't even swallow, bro. Like, me, I can't. Then just how it happened and what I saw, the entire thing. And this is not just like a distant cousin or anything like that. This is somebody who I genuinely have under me. You know what I'm saying? So technically, it's like
this is somebody you touch every single day, physically,
literally. Hug, talk to her that morning before she went to school.
This ain't like one of your favorite cousins that you see every 2 or 3 months.
It's like your child.
Right.
So I'm trying to process it. Like, man, you got me trying to process it, but you got me trying to be, because in a sense, I'm the strong of the family too.
To be the strong person in the family, right?
So I gotta pick, you know, other strong people up. So I'm trying to build up the strength to tell you we gonna get through this, but at the same time, it's like
you hurting yourself.
I'm hurting, bro. Like, I've never heard it that bad.
It's something when you have to bear the pain yourself, but at the same time have to carry everybody else on your shoulders.
Bro, listen, it's a different thing, and you know, and being that weak, I've never been that weak ever in my life. I've never been to a point where I felt like I couldn't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? I drove home from the hospital, and just as bright as these lights is, that's what it felt like around me. It's like nothing else existed to me at that point.
It's almost like you was in your own alternate universe, huh?
Yeah, and as like I'm driving, and then all I see is just white, you know. So at this point, when I get to the house, I had a fifth of liquor.
Mm-hmm.
I drank the entire bottle. And
it's funny you say that, because I was about to ask you, do you even, at that point, do you even feel anything?
I didn't even get drunk. After drinking a fifth of Hennessy, I did not even get drunk.
So even, I'm asking, like, before you even start drinking, like, on your way home to get the drink, do you feel anything?
No.
Or is there just numbness?
It's a different kind of numb. It's like, it's an out-of-body experience. Like, there's nothing, like, nothing mattered at that point to me.
Yeah.
The red light didn't matter. The road didn't matter. The people beside me didn't matter. You know, it's just like you are just in this world of just you.
I know you spoke of bright lights, but did it feel like a fog?
That's what it felt. It felt like, if I could remove all of these things on these lights and actually jump into this light, that's what it just felt like. Just nothing. There was
just nothing there.
There's nothing there.
It's like nothingness.
Nothingness, and I can't even explain what it is, but you can't process nothing. Nothing makes sense at this point, because now I'm questioning God.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm questioning, because I went to church. I went to church. I paid my tithes. I did all the other stuff. My family are good people.
Right.
And they do, you know, she was a good person. My thing is, why would you allow this to happen to her?
Yeah.
You know, why? You know, at this point, what do I do from this point? Because this is something I can't bear. At least I thought I couldn't at the time.
Yeah.
So my whole, just everything in life that I once valued, I had a different opinion about now, because this is like nothing in this world that has happened to me in the past or even up to this point could compare to that hurt.
All right, stop.